Hi, everyone. If you can hear me, hi. First of all, apologies for starting the stream very late. But if you can hear me, let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I sincerely apologize for starting the stream late. Hi, Nafisat. Nafisat, can you confirm if you can hear me? Joseph is here again. I have not forgotten you, Joseph. I can never forget you. Joseph is here again. Hi, Samira. Hi, Bello. Good evening. Good evening to you all. How are you guys doing? It's the weekend. Oh, thank you, Nafisat. It's the weekend. Hope you guys are, yeah. I don't know, for those that party, hope you guys are partying. For those that don't party, you guys are sitting down in your house. If you're just joining us, welcome to today's Q&A session for lesson 6. Fortunately, I am the one that is going to be. I'm not even apologizing to you, Joseph. I can apologize. In fact, I'm apologizing to every other person except I'm apologizing to every other person but Joseph. But Joseph, yeah. Okay. Hi, Jerlis. I don't know if I spelled the name correctly, but hi, Jerlis. I like your DP. It's anime-ish. Even though I'm not an anime person, but I like anime characters. They look so nice. And the drawings and everything. Usually. Joseph, when you are ready, you'd leave me alone. Okay. Um. So yeah, I think it's only. I think we can start. Yeah, we can just start the session. We have people on you know, on the call already. Should I call it call? So yep. Let's know what's up, people. So my people, what do you have for me? Hi, Oyedokun. Welcome, Oyedokun. You're welcome, Jaylis. Yeah, you're welcome. So yes, my people, I think we can officially start. If you have questions, let me know. Please drop your questions in the chat and I will try my best to answer them. I'm guessing that everyone has taken the lesson. Hi, Kwame, or Kwame. Kwame, I think it's Kwame. Yeah, hi. I'm guessing everyone has, finished lesson 6. So please shoot me your questions. Hey, looks like no one has questions from you. That is very interesting. So I think let me ask questions if you guys don't have any. Yeah. So different Can you guys hear me? Oh, you guys can hear me now. All right, cool. Let me start by answering. So I see we already have two questions from Nafisat and Joseph. Okay, let me start by answering Joseph's question first. So the difference between a threat hunter, a threat intelligence analyst, and a pen tester. So for threat hunter, let me start by explaining what threat hunting is, like a brief overview of what threat hunting is. So with threat hunting, you are taking a proactive approach, right? So usually in the SOC, as analysts, you take the reactive approach where, when you are responding to an event or you're responding to an incident. But with threat hunting, you don't wait till you have an incident. So a better analogy is, think of it as policemen. There are some policemen that it is when something happens that they are being dispatched. That is when something happens. That's when they go and make arrest or they go and settle something or bring peace. And we have another set of police that they do patrol, right? They don't wait for something to happen. They're always patrolling, they're driving their vans up and down and things like that. You know, that's the same thing with threat hunting or threat hunters. They don't wait, till something happens. So um they go into the network and they hunt and they do this using different methods. It can either be through intelligence driven threat hunting. They saw something in the wild, maybe from threat intelligence, right? And they just take that and they are hunting based on that intelligence. They're hunting in the environment based on that intelligence. There is also um, hypothesis based threat hunting where you know um, as threat hunters you develop an hypothesis and you just hunt based on that. So essentially, in a nutshell, right, just to cut the whole story short and not go very technical and all that, threat hunters are professionals that hunt for threats within an environment. They don't wait for incidents to happen, and most of the times, they uncover things and they uncover things that your sim would have missed, right? They uncover things that your sim would have missed, and based on that finding, you can better fine tune your sim or your detection rules, right? Now, for threat intel analysts, right, their job is to collect and and analyze intelligence, right? And the kind of intelligence they collect and analyze are intelligence around the threats that the organization um, might face, right? So um, they can do things like going into the dark web to see if hope help our organization is not being discussed in forums, right? Are we Do we have sensitive information being leaked outside? Um, um, Brand impersonation, brand protection generally. Hope nobody's impersonating, the co-founder or the founder. You know, what vulnerability is, in town now, and how does it affect us if an organization in our space gets breached. Do we have controls in place to, you know, stop that kind of attack, or what are the lessons that we've learned from, those are kind of the things that threat intelligence analysts do. They also do a lot of OSINT, so information gathering, and things like that. And I think I've seen instances where threat intel guys have leveraged OSINTs and use that in finding people, right? Yeah. So these are some of the things that you do as a threat intelligence analyst. Now, for a pen tester, a penetration tester, you are basically going to. So pen testing is like simulating an attack, right? Simulating an attack basically. And what you're doing is you're going to be testing an organization's network or applications for vulnerabilities. You are essentially doing or simulating what an actual attacker would do, but this time around you are doing it ethically, right? And at the end of your test, you would you know write a report, and your report will contain an executive summary, as the case may be, the number of findings, and the evidence. Then, most importantly, the recommendations, because it's not just about testing. You need to explain or tell them how to fix it. So what do they need to do? What are the measures they need to put in place to remediate these vulnerabilities? So yeah, pen testers are ethical hackers, right? And we know that ethical hackers are these network pen test, a different pen test. So is network based pen test. There is um what's it called? This application, web application, mobile application, API. Yeah, I think I've answered Joseph's question. So I think the next question is Nafisat. She's asking, um, how is risk assessed and ranked in GRC context? So I would say that the risk is assessed, or the way GRC program will assess risk is through some steps. I think the first one is identify, and here you're basically listing all the things that your your organization cares about. This is where you have your crown jewels and everything. So your assets, your data, sensitive, do your classification, and all those things. Um, I think here also you would want to identify the areas where you think the organization can go wrong, and where you're able to like spot some vulnerabilities. Then next you want to like analyze, like for each risk, you would want to ask, what is the likelihood of this risk? How bad can it be if something happens, if this vulnerability is being exploited, right? And you would want to maybe like score them, right? Like maybe like classify them rather. So like giving them like small, medium, high, you know. And for scoring also, you would I think for scoring there is a matrix that's like a grid like that you use in scoring, like in scoring and ranking risk, right? So I think there's a 3 by 3, there's a 5 by 5, and that's like how they use so they multiply the likelihood of that risk being you know the likelihood of that risk happening or being exploited against the impacts, and that way they get a risk score. Yeah. And yeah, and they would also like kind of like review it, you know because we have new threats, you know controls will change, and things like that. So yeah, that's how it is. I don't know if I've answered Nafisat's question. Okay. Uh, Oyedokun has another question. So it says, what tool does threat hunters use to detect what SIM could have missed? Okay. So well, there are some like threat hunting tools. Yeah. And also threat hunters, they leverage these tools like the SIM, the EDR, you know, they leverage these tools as well. Like they use them for threat hunting. Um, so yeah, not like they have like some sort of special tools. Yeah, there are some tools that are kind of like tailored towards threat hunting, but most of the tools that threat hunters use are the tools that you know the analysts would use as well. So your SIM, right? They are not waiting for an alert to come in. They would enter the SIM and go through the logs, analyze the logs, look at patterns, dashboards, create dashboards and things like that, correlate data and things like that. They're not waiting for an alert to pop up. And even in your EDR, they go into the EDR, they are looking at processes, and things like that. So below, below Shadia, she says, I don't know if it's a he or she. Sorry. Can someone be a pen tester and a SOC analyst? Yes. Yes, you can. You can be a pen tester and a SOC analyst. Fortunately, I'm both. So yeah, you can. Oyedotun, I think I answered your question, Oyedokun. Um, any other question? Can you guys still hear me? I hope I'm not talking to myself. Okay, so where does the blue? Okay, there's another question. Oh, okay, okay. Let me start from below. Where does the blue team or red team come in the sock rows? Is referring to this one. Okay. Where does the blue team or red team come in when it comes to? Okay, so the sock is the blue team, right? The sock is the blue team, right? Blue team are the defensive, side, and in the sock you are defending, right? And when you talk about like red team, um, offensive. So that's where you have your pen testers. Like pen testing is like on the offensive side of things. So there's a part where both the red and the blue team can collaborate. So with the red team, red teams can simulate attacks, and they see if the blue team is able to pick up or spot, these attacks, and how long did it take them, you know, the controls that they have in place, were they able to pick them up, with the um, red team will probably try to use evasion techniques. Were they able to spot those evasion techniques? You know, things like that. So that's a place where the red and blue team can have a collaboration. Have I answered your question? Yes. Yeah. They are proactive and reactive. Yeah. Joseph is yeah, spot on. Yeah, spot on. Right. Okay. Thank you, Yedekun. Right. So the sock is actually a very fun place to be. It's a very fun place to be. And so if you would want to like become a SOC analyst or work in a SOC, I would say that you should not only focus on technical skills, you should also focus on communication skills. One thing I've seen that they don't tell a lot of people that are trying to break into the SOC field is that you'll be writing a lot of reports, right? In the SOC, you write a lot of reports and different kind of reports, with different kind of content, and every time is not very technical stuff. You need to be able to communicate to executives. You need to be able to communicate, and tell them how it affects the organization. Not just yes, we know that technical stuff. We know that all the processes, all the attack types and whatnot. But yeah, when communicating with leadership, you need to tell them how it affects the organization. Is it going to cost the business money? Is it going to cost the business their reputation? And there's also the parts of reporting where you have to like provide insights. Um, just try to as you're honing your technical skills, try to hone your soft skill as well, and also learn the art of like report writing. How to write a report, how to communicate effectively. You'll definitely go far with that. Trust me. There's no running away from report writing in the SOC because you're going to write a whole lot of it. if you are on the pen testing side as well, you're going to write report as well. You're going to write pen test reports, right? Even if it is a vulnerability assessment you are doing, you are going to write a vulnerability assessment results, reports rather. Um, yeah, so it is not just enough for you to be technical to know how to, you break into stuff. So how to, you need to be able to, you know, um, you need to be able to communicate, those things. Okay. So any more questions? There are no questions. What is one thing about being a SOC and a pen tester? Okay, so I think the thing I enjoy about being a SOC um, and a pen tester is that I is that you let me put it this way. I'm able to understand some kind of like incident or event faster, right? Because I know what this person is trying to do, right? I know what this person is trying to do, and straight up, I just know that okay, this is malicious. It also helps me, think like an attacker, right? Because I can put myself in their shoe and be like, okay, if I was to compromise the system, what approach would I want to take? And now I would now try to maybe like triage an alert based on that or do deeper investigation, based on that. So it allows me to, I don't know, have like a switch in, switch out kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense. But generally, the fact that I'm able to really understand, you know, some kind of attacks, the attack types, I'm able to understand what this kind of person is trying to do. I'm able to piece things together. I'm able to like know that okay, for this person to do this person is definitely going to try to do this again, or this person must have done this to get to this place, right? Yeah, that's just like one of the things. Um, what is one thing I do not like? I think it's the amount of reports you have to write sometimes. Yeah, sometimes the amount of reports you need to write, yeah, it can be crazy, can go bizarre really fast. So yeah, yeah. For some people, they would say that is the shift thingy, right? Because if you become a sub person, you would be doing shifts, and one way or the other, you work on weekends, and you know, if you're an O and B person, you're definitely going to miss that. And there's also going to be night shifts. Sometimes you might not be lucky, you might fall on Christmas shifts or a New Year, or if you're a Muslim on Salah Day. You know. Sorry, hold on, guys. Okay. Oh wait, okay. So there is a question: most challenging part aspect of being a SOC analyst. I would say that it is adapting to new environments. And when I say new environment is, for instance, if you work with an MSSP, so if you work with an MSSP, you're not working with just one environment. An MSSP has different clients, so it means that if they have like five different clients that subscribe to their SOC service, it means that yes, you are going to be working across those five environments, and environments are different from each other, right? Some environments they're probably using AWS, another environments are probably using Azure, another environments are probably using GCP, things like that. Yes, the fundamentals would help, like understanding how cloud works in this context, but it's going to be different how things are being done here. So you need to familiarize yourself with the logs. So you need to understand new logs. Um, you need to understand how to if you are doing like maybe deeper investigation or maybe threat hunting, for example, maybe like you want to do little threat hunting, you need to understand these logs. Um, yeah. Um, if you ask another person, probably have something to say, but yeah, that's one of the to me that's one of the most challenging part of being a SOC analyst. You have to um, adapt to different environments, and yeah. And when I mean environments, there are different environments. Some environments enterprise level, so there are a lot of things going on. Some environments very calm, not too much, and some environments they're very very crazy. Shadia says no salary. I've had to go pray before and resume work because I fell on Salah shift. So Jadis is asking, is malware analyst part of the SOC? Yeah, so for malware, they are actually kind of like, I think they are in between, right? Because you are kind of being in an offensive position and you can also like kind of do defensive because you can analyze malware. But generally, I would say that you are more on the red side. Right? To me, I might be wrong, but if you work as a malware analyst in an organization, you'll be analyzing malware and be doing research. Okay, I think well time has gone, so I'm going to take just the last three questions I have here is what I'm just gonna answer. So how did I get my first role? Um, it was like a referral. Yeah, it was like a referral, and I was interviewed, and yeah, the rest they say is history. Are SOC roles readily available in Nigeria? Yes, they are. I would say that that's even the fastest way to get a cybersecurity job in Nigeria. SOC and GRC. Yeah, especially SOC. That's like the fastest way to get your feet in cybersecurity in Nigeria. Right? Because we have MSSPs, then banks also hire, SOC analysts. But a lot of MSSPs hire like SOC analysts, and banks also as well. Um, all right, so let's take attendance while I answer Belo's last question. So I'm going to share the link. I'm going to drop the link to the attendance form, and you guys go fill it. It's going to ask you for a secret word. It's going to ask you for a secret word. The secret word is Joseph. So the secret word is Joseph. Yep. Remember, you're filling the attendance form with your student ID. The secret word is Joseph once again. Joseph, 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 Joseph. Right. Um, so let me answer Belo's question. How do you stay current as a SOC analyst and pen tester with your type work schedule as a SOC analyst? Well, you have no choice. You have no choice than to stay updated, right? Because that's the thing about cybersecurity. You have to always be current, right? You're constantly, reading the news, looking up blog posts to understand. Attacks change. There are new attacks in town. The um, controls changes as well. This development, so you need to constantly keep yourself involved, up to date rather. So yeah, you attend conferences, webinars, um, read books, um, take courses, right? Yeah, but to stay current, you would read the news, follow industry professionals, Twitter. There are some you can follow on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Some people that are doing great research. Some people are uncovering things and they're talking about it. You know, and yeah, Reddit as well. I don't know. Reddit is underrated. A lot of people don't use Reddit. I enjoy using Reddit. A lot of like nice conversations go on there, and you can get information about absolutely everything you want on Reddit. So yeah. So I'm going once it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to the form will not be available again, right? So you need to fill your attendance now. MSSP means managed security service provider. So they provide security services to cybersecurity services to organization. So, for example, you have a company and you don't want to have your SOC in house. You can just um, subscribe to a SOC, so to an MSSP rather, and they would be in charge of your SOC. Your own is just to come to work, do your work. When there's an issue, they escalate to you, they ask you questions. If there's an event, they'll tell you as well. You know, so they are handling the security part for you. Again, I'll make the form unavailable very soon. The secret word is Joseph, Joseph, Joseph. One, two, three, four. How did I miss Moreni KG? Good evening, Moreni KG. I'm just seeing your comments. If you haven't filled the attendance form, now is the time. Secret word is Joseph. Right. Um, oh no, no, quizzes on Sunday. Quizzes on Sunday. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, so I am going to be closing the form now. 60 seconds. You have 60 seconds. Now you have 40 seconds. Don't ask me why my time is fast. Now you have 20 seconds. And yep. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So yeah, so it's nice spending the last couple of minutes with you guys. Do enjoy the rest of your day. If you have any more questions, you can always drop them on Pombo. Over and out. Bye, guys. Did you fill the form, Nafisat? Ping me on Pombo. Just ping me on Pombo.